Here with us is former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, retired four-star Army General Wesley Clark. General, welcome back to the show. Always great to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's begin with Pete Hegseth. Trump has named him as Defense Secretary. We know he served as an officer in Iraq, in Afghanistan. He has not been shy with his opinions about the military, especially when it comes to cable news. How do you see him influencing the decision-making within the department, General?
Well, that's the question. When you come into a department like this, everybody is going to bring their own opinions in. He's got to have a degree of open-mindedness. Things look different when you're a captain. Looking up at a big organization, especially when you're in counterinsurgency operations, and when you're looking through the organization, you may find that your opinions are different, and if you hang on to them and try to enforce those prejudices, yeah, it could be some difficulties. He's going to have to manage a huge organization, and having been a captain, that's good. That's a good start. But what's he done since then? Can he really handle the tremendous budget requirements, the congressional requirements, and the leadership? You know, if he's got these incidents behind him, does he represent the kind of ethics that we demand of our leaders in the military? And if he doesn't, that's a problem. And it's also connected to the idea of this panel that will purge the woke generals. Nobody knows what a woke general is. I certainly don't. And if it has anything to do with the diversity training in the armed forces, well, it's a volunteer armed force. I'm sure the men that are in there and women that are leading it are not deliberately wasting time. What they want to do is have a great command climate and bring recruits in. So you've got to get the right balance here. If the woke has something to do with counterinsurgency, with how you treat the civilian populace in a counterinsurgency situation, that's a different matter. But that also needs to be worked. So there's a lot of questions. He'll be asked those questions if there's a confirmation process. And if he isn't going through a confirmation process, I promise you there'll be a lot of questions about what's going on when he takes office. And if I could just give you one more incident. So when Don Rumsfeld became Secretary of Defense in 2001, he was going around the Pentagon. Apparently, Vice President Cheney had said, the way you get a hold of this institution is you fire a couple of generals. And the story was he was going through offices looking for overweight generals.
Wow.
And I don't know if he ever fired any like that. But that was the discussion throughout the general officer ranks, and we're pretty careful to stay in shape, and most of us are always in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I don't know if we found anybody, but it is the kind of rumor that goes through that is disruptive to an organization.
Well, you mentioned those woke generals. With Hegseth, though, he's naming people out specifically, including the chairman of the Joint Chief. You served with many current generals and admirals that are currently in the military. What are you hearing from them? They're decorated veterans who served our country.
You know, nobody really understands what this would be, but it smells like a political purge. And the officer corps in the United States Armed Forces is politically, it's just not there. You have to serve the orders of the commander-in-chief, whether he's Democrat, Republican, or whatever, or he or she. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. If it's a legal order, that's what you do. But also, you are responsible under the volunteer force. When the Army chief, the Navy chief, they have to recruit. And if they don't recruit, we won't have those forces. So I'm not sure what the charge is against General Brown. He's a decorated fighter pilot. He came up through the ranks. He was evaluated by his peers and his leaders for his proficiency, his professionalism. I don't know what the charge would be, and that's the concern, really.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.